Hello, everybody. How you doing today? Jeff here again from the Quantum Left. Just sitting around here today, doing a little bit of work on my thesis for my PhD, and I have to tell you, it's a Saturday, and I'd pretty much rather stick hot needles in my eyes than work on my PhD thesis right now on Saturday. And I'm tired. I've been at this for a few days, and it's starting to wear me down. But it's got to get done. What are you gonna do? Anyway, I decided to take a break and scan the news on the internet, on the web. And I don't have cable, so it has to be on the web. And I'm scanning down through my regular channels, CBC, Canadian, American. I generally follow Canadian, American, German, Russian, French, Indo, China, South Pacific, and a little bit of South America, Central America, Belize in particular. I like around that area, Guatemala, so I'm listening to the news down there quite a bit. So I'm listening to the news from all over the world. And something that's becoming very, very clear to me is that there's no news. Where the hell is the news? Like, especially if you're in an industrialized country, there is no news. You're being fed horse shit. It's absolute. It's amazing to me. From skating on the Rideau Canal to foolish little things like dogs in Ontario that fool some Pakistani fella into thinking that it was a bear. Okay, I could see the humor in that. I could see why a guy might think it's a bear. I can't see why it's on the news for 3 days. It's not news. Where the hell is the news? We need the news. I'm following stations all over North America, all over South America, all over the world. And one thing that has become very, 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 very clear to me, maybe very, 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 very clear to me, is that the less industrialized the country, the more news they get. And the more industrialized the country, the more they feed you a line of shite. Absolute poppycock. It doesn't even make sense, half of what we're listening to. I mean, it's bad enough that they have to put on programming like Dancing with the Stars to rot half our population, and that they're stunned enough to even watch it. But the one chance you have to get them with some information in your local news program, we don't even have that anymore. It's lost to us. It's now been replaced with conjecture, innuendo, bad reporting, and just a poor follow through on very important national issues. Just very, very, very poor. We spend way more time on Oscar Pistorius trials than we do on Native women missing in North America, in Canada in particular, that we know are most likely been abducted, raped, and murdered. And we have dozens of these women missing. But we're watching the Oscar Pistorius trial because it's sensational, because he was an Olympian who ran with no legs on little springy things. He's a abusive husband. Or boyfriend, whatever he is. There's thousands of these guys around the world. You're not going to change this behavior by watching this news program over and over and over again. If you want to stop this foolishness from happening, go out and educate people, and that would happen if we had better information coming in. The schools are not training our children. There's just an indoctrination into materialistic world. I mean, there's no education here. Most of children here in North America now coming out of high schools can't tell you how many states or provinces there are in their respective countries, So, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous for us to think that with the information that we're being given and what we're disseminating, that we can advance as a species or as a society. We're stagnating because our information is bad. It is childish, at the very least, especially when you consider placing hockey on a national news program. Okay, hockey might be a wonderful sport and a great exercise and all that. I have no problem with that, but it does not belong on the national news. It belongs on TSN, or it belongs over here or over there. There are not as many Canadians who like hockey as CBC and NTV would like for you to believe. There really isn't. Most Canadians actually are foreigners and watch football, or soccer, as we would call it. So let's get a perspective on this. What's important? I mean, okay, hockey is a lot of fun, and that's great and all that, but we have land issues with the natives that have been going on for hundreds of years. We have land issues with Syncrude and Suncor in northern Alberta that are destroying the ecosystem of the Athabasca Basin River and everything else, and all the tribes that live along it. I mean, it'll be a month of eons before that cleans itself, or even starts to clean itself. We're able to see this devastation now from space. I mean, we have people all over the world that are talking about how much they don't want it. And it seems like really the only people that do want it are the people that are directly involved in the tar sands and benefiting from it, i.e. the highest paid workers, but even more than that, the CEOs. Nobody else is benefiting. And even these guys are not benefiting. They're benefiting in the short term. But you cannot sell off your heritage, your ecosystem, your whole history for money and expect to get ahead with that. No, that's not going to happen. And this needs to be reported in the news. Why are these things not being reported? We're spending so much time on frivolous information that the important things are just not being discussed, and people are as complacent as they've ever been in their life, while the house is burning down around us. The house is literally burning down around us, and people sitting down to dinner. And it's because the news journalists and broadcasters are not doing their job. You're not doing the job that you're supposed to be doing as reportive, investigative journalists and reporters. You're not following through on what you're supposed to be doing. There are people out there who are trying. One that comes to mind right away is Paul Hunter and Nala Ayed. And there are others, especially in CBC. They just those two come to mind right now. But it's obvious that there are other reporters out there that are really trying to get information out to us. You can see this in the reports, in their face, and the pain that they are obviously experiencing, what they're witnessing. I'm just very curious to know how much of their information that they're gathering is actually making it through the corporate filter to us. Because I have to tell you, from what I'm seeing at the on the news programs and on the wire and in the newspapers and everything else that I follow, it seems to me that this filter is actually a very good filter, and it seems to get most of the information, and it's not getting through to us, especially if it's politically unfavorable to somebody that the filter favors, i.e. the newspaper or the broadcaster. If they favor a particular person, party, or thing, and negative information comes through their system about that, they tend to filter it. Well, that doesn't do anybody any good. As a matter of fact, it does a disservice to all of us as citizens of the world, okay? And disallows us from making positive, moving forward choices for humanity as a whole. These things will continue to remain a barrier to people who are trying to bring together a society on this planet of caring, loving people who live in a symbiotic way with nature and with different things around them. And if the news people would do their job and disseminate the news and tell the news, we could probably slowly move to a more civilized society where we're not shooting each other all the time and having foolish acts of theft and I don't mean theft from stealing a dinky at the corner store. I mean theft like the crash there, the economic crash where we paid off all the executives, I don't know how many billions of dollars. Now that's theft. I mean, that's theft on a monumental scale. Never mind the little pissant stuff there that the guy down the road is doing because he has a crack habit. That's not theft. That the guy needs help, but he's these bankers now. These guys understand theft. So be critical in your thinking. Look at what you're being fed. What is the source? Can you verify it from at least 3 to 5 sources as being correct? Make sure that you can before you disseminate it. If you can't verify it and you go to disseminate it, qualify it with, well, I could not verify this, but I heard. There is enough shite floating around the globe now in the heads of those that are too ignorant to take the time to verify information and going out and disseminating that information as fact, that we can't afford to do it anymore. And we can't afford to allow our news agencies and broadcasters to be party to this ignorance. So hold them to task. When you see something that is just a bullshit story, contact a reporter, contact a broadcaster. Explain to them that you are interested in news. You need to see news. You need information. And that if this is the type of stuff that they're going to broadcast, that you'll no longer be watching their broadcast. I assure you, when they understand that people are listening and are talking back, they will listen. But as long as they think that they have control and that they can do what they want, I can assure you that's what they're going to do. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers.